Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. How are you doing? Okay. Um, People have started jumping. We never start. You don't already jump. Let him take your only child abroad, please. You see, some people are under the misguided opinion. Hello, Ada, how are you doing? That abroad life is better than Nigerian life. How misguided can you be? A lot of people abroad right now are thinking of bringing their children home with the kind of things they are seeing in that abroad. Me, I've said it, me, I cannot raise abroad children. The wala is too much. Someone said, been waiting for me. I'm so sorry. I should have come over an hour ago, but I've been extremely tired. So this woman sent me this story and told me to actually reach out to her husband, which I didn't. Let me forward it to Ada. Maybe Ada will read for us because my eye don't tire me. Someone say you are right or that one no. Victoria Bami says fan from down under. No, you're not down under. You're right there, right above. Sorry guys, my eyes look very tired. Yes, I know. So let me forward the thing to Ada. Ada, don't mention her name. Please help me read this out and let us discuss. So you can see that I did not make this up. I actually Ada don't go, they wear clothes right now, so they follow you talk. I know them. Now so they do Samaria, Ada, all of them. They know they ever agree wear clothes. Last minute they go, wowza. Where is Ada? Ada joined. Not lie. Ada wear clothes. She even wear face cap.
I just got back home.
Lucky us. I just thought about it. Aren't you afraid of walking up and down that lonely road? I don't even went
Don't
to.
say, don't say, don't say, don't say, don't
I
say, don't
don't.
say.
I will not mention the name of the street.
Don't say, don't say, don't say.
All right, please. My eyes are a bit blurry. I don't know. I've not been sleeping. I've been having sleeping issues. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I have to read it because I have this one phone.
Oh, you have just one phone. Oh, okay. What that thing on your head is called is a wig cap.
It's a week. I just took off my wig. I just got back home. Like I've been out.
Yeah. And I don't they work out. Which one be all these muscle where don't they grow for your body?
I work out now, yeah, to keep fit, to have flat tummy.
What workout do you do? Press up.
No, I work out and I eat at night.
I swear. You remind me of one guy that is called PT. Now, so go they go they yap me say I dey chop for night. Meanwhile, all right. So let me read it. Then I'll just have to strain my eyes because this assignment. Um, it says, okay, I have a Nigerian friend I left my daughter with briefly towards the end of my school. And when it was time to go, she placed abuse allegations on me and charged me to court. You see, all these abroadarian things that can never happen in Nigeria, but are the norm abroad. She placed abuse allegations on me and charged me to court. She charged my husband, who is Nigerian, for negligence, but somehow my husband, who called himself a pastor, is taking sides with my friend. My friend helped him to get a free lawyer here, and they want to take my only child from me and want to force me to pay child support to another strange woman. I sent it to you, so it's not like you see the woman's number, so it's not look like I made it up.
Yeah, I'll read it after.
The original friend took my daughter to drop out of the case because her sister promised to testify against her in court. And with the help of the court and the husband, transferred my daughter to this Jamaican woman. Jamaican woman filed for custody for my only child and demanded for child support. I have not spoken to my daughter in 1 year. The things you people see abroad. Please, I need your help in reaching my supposed husband that has taken the original, that has taken sides with strange woman to take my child away. Please do not close this gate of mercy against me. I have been married to this man for 24 years, waited 8 years to get this child. Please help me.
That means, how old is this child?
I could not, I just took it. I said, okay, come live and tell me your story. She said, no, she wants me to call her husband. Where do I want, as in, it's like, because people see me here at night, it looks like I'm just jobless the whole day. Because it's not like you and your husband are coming for counseling, so I can say, okay, we're going to do 30 minutes or 1 hour today, then we do this one. Where do I want to start from? I'm going to sit down and listen to 2 hours of he said, she said. But you see, there's one thing I want to tell you guys here. Don't go abroad until you know exactly what obtains abroad. Don't go abroad with Nigerian mentality. Let me tell you something here. In Dubai, if you have consensual intercourse, that is, you see a guy you like and the two of you say you want to have intercourse, and the government catches you, you go to jail for 1 year, because extramarital intercourse is a crime in Dubai, whether the two of you agreed to it or not. So before you relocate to Dubai, do you understand what obtains there? America is different from Nigeria, so is Canada. What kind of school would you want to go to that you carry your child and go and give somebody else? You see, these are the issues. These are the issues, because they say Togiri Obanlanu Alangba Ole Wobe. Do you understand what I said? If the wall does not open, lizard cannot enter inside the wall. Lizard is not magician. Lizard is not Nigerian pastor. Lizard cannot just walk to a wall and say, wall, open, and the wall will open and the lizard will enter. Anytime you see a lizard inside the wall, just know that there is an opening somewhere on that wall that the lizard used to enter inside the wall. So, first of all, what kind of, this child you've waited for 8 years to have this child, but then you want to go to school and then you gave the child to somebody to take care of. That worries me. I'm sorry, guys, but that particular narrative bothers me. Esther Mori says, you will pay heavily if you come here with Nigerian mentality. Let me warn you down. Now, here's the thing. She's not willing to come and say the story. So I'm now going to have to sit down and start figuring it out. Let me tell you something here. Women too go through a lot abroad. And it is this quest to make money. I always tell people, as you they see me so, I dey very content too. If I get the money, to buy the latest Benz, I go buy them. If I no get, I no go kill myself. It's not all the time in my life that I've always had money to buy everything I like. There's some, but as long as I can feed, is when I don't have shelter. I don't have school fees for my children. That to me is a bother. There's no food, there's no shelter, and there's no school fees. Everything else is extra. Everything else is extra. Once you have food, you have shelter, and you have school fees, any other thing is additional. But you see, Nigerians go abroad and want to better themselves and want to continue bettering themselves. I was having this conversation with my daughters earlier on today. I know so many people who spent the money they will have used to enjoy their life to start a business, and the business failed. I have a friend who started like 4 different businesses and all the 4 failed. And I now asked my kids, I was like, if you have, imagine right now, you have 50 million naira. Would you start a business or would you enjoy the money? Enjoy the money means buy a car, upgrade your house, travel abroad, go on holiday, go on. Would you invest the money, or would you, let me even ask you, Ada, or would you enjoy your life?
At my age right now, I think I'll do 50-50. I would invest parts and enjoy some, because I'm still young. More money will come.
Okay, how much will you invest and how much will you?
I would invest, let's say 60% and enjoy 40%.
Good. Now let me break your heart here. Have you ever done any business before in your life?
Yes.
What business did you do?
I established someone to set up like a restaurant in Calabar. I was just funding the business, and she was supposed to be remitting 100K monthly to me. Then I was in Asaba. But she did that the first month, and the second month she sent 20K. Third month 10. I didn't hear from her again to like 6 months until we had to like it got really serious. I threatened to get involved with the police and all, and then she now started paying me back gradually for like 7 months. She paid the money.
That is what you just described a business for you. That's how a business is. Now, the problem is people like me don't know how to run a business. I don't have the patience. I don't have the time. I don't have the skills. I don't have it's not one of my gifts. Someone like Taste Buds, on the other hand, knows how to run a business. I don't know how to run a business. So if out of my 50 million, I take 60% of 50 million is 30 million, I will waste that 30 million on the business. Now, the money I spend buying my car, upgrading my house, traveling abroad is not a waste. Na me chop am. You understand what I'm saying? Na me chop am. I can, instead of eating it all, I can maybe take 10 million or maybe max 20 million, maybe buy property somewhere, maybe a plot of land. I don't need to develop it. I just need to take my time out and look for land to buy in a choice area. Like all those properties along that axis going towards, where's that place called? The new refinery. Just go and look for 1 or 2 properties to buy there. You understand? Why am I saying this? And I'm trying to get into your head. There are people who are cut out to do business. They will take the whole money, put it inside the business, and they will make it yield. There are people who already have established businesses but lack funds. You understand? They lack funds. That money will just be like an injection of funds into an already working business. Somebody said to me one day, he said, why would you buy iPhone? That time was even iPhone 10 or one of those top of the class iPhones, not even 14. It was one of those top of the class iPhones. Says, why would you buy iPhone for $500,000 naira? Do you know you could buy land for $500,000 naira? Yes, but I also work for the money. I also want to enjoy the dividends of the money. Most people don't know how to enjoy. All they do is invest, and it's good. Sometimes if you are lucky and your investments pay off. I know a woman who's in her 60s and she owns like 70 properties in Lagos. In high-rise buildings, she owns like 12 properties, and the high-rise rent is going for 3 million naira a year. But one day I saw the woman. She doesn't travel abroad. She doesn't drive nice car. She doesn't wear expensive clothes. She doesn't do expensive hair. So I looked at her and I was like, I felt so sorry for her. Initially, when my friend used to say, do you know that this woman owns this property? Do you know that this woman owns this thing? Do you know that this woman owns this? I used to be, until I saw the woman, I was like, I now start feeling sorry for her. Do you know why I'm feeling sorry for her? Her children will burn through that, will burn a hole in that money in 5 years. Using the money to do exactly those things that you did not want to do. It's like my father struggling, depriving himself of everything to invest in a business, and now leaves the business for me. Papa, now sell, we go sell out. Because I don't go feel run am. I go come look like bad pikin. So sometimes I thank God my father was not rich, because I go just behave like rich people. Fine, I not go use the money smoke or do anything, no, but I go chop the money because I know sabi. And 95% of Nigerians know sabi. They listen to motivational pastor. They tell you say invest. Waiting be your own investment. Not be your tithe and offering. I ain't they take invest. Tithe and offering we sure die. Wait, next week you will bring another one. If you born this week, you go bring another one. Now you go dash and watch. Now you go still dash and money. I remember a time in my life, this boys used to laugh at me about this period. I was so fine. I didn't come from a poor home, but I came from a home where nobody supported my idea except by nobody I mean my sisters were too young to support me. They loved me and they supported me and they used to follow me to work on the radio, but they were too young to say, okay, take this 1 million naira, invest in yourself. You understand? My mom was the only one that believed in me and supported me. But how far can a woman go when she has other children abroad and she's the one sorting them out? 99%. So my mom tried her possible best to help me develop my career, but it wasn't easy. And I couldn't go back to my dad's home because we had a lot of issues, especially concerning religion and things like that, and belief systems. And my belief system is like this, my father's belief system is like this. And my father will tell you that it is his house, so you have to believe like this. And me, I used to tell him that no, it is not his house, it is our house, and I can believe like this. So now morning to night fight, they agree, I know they agree. You understand? And I was the only one that could stand up to him. Is there. Just follow the wire. I was the only one that could stand up to him and say, you know what, I'm not going to take this from you. And he will also not agree, so will not agree. Then after a while, we fought, and then he would just allow me And me too, so that there will not be trouble. Me too, I will allow him. So everybody just the waka him own, they respect himself. But you see, it affected me, traumatized me so badly that many years down the line, I'm talking about 25 years down the line, I will have an argument with my father in my dream. I will sleep, and all my dreams were in my old house. As in, that thing just started leaving me like, I think maybe a year ago. I'm not making this up. It was so traumatizing. So, when I started working, my biggest fear then was, I can't go back to my father's house. No matter what happens, I'd rather live under a bridge than go back and start this quarreling again. This picking quarrel over nothing. No. I love my dad, we're cool, but I can't live with him. Even with my mom, I can't live with my mom as much as I love my mom. We go begin, if we live for 2 weeks, we will begin quarrel. So I have the kind of parents that you enjoy in small doses.
That is, are they the problem or it's you?
We are all the problem. They went to charge it for you. I had a I'm going somewhere with this, so I want you to listen. We all are the problem, because they know they agree me, I know they agree them. We don't see. I'm very polarized in my thinking. This is how I think, and they too have their own. So it's always good to visit them once in a while. Spend 2-3 days. Once don't they pass that 2-3 days, we go don't begin the near that argument stage. So everybody go just waka. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because that is why I realized that I couldn't go back home. And I had to do everything I could to make sure that I never go back home. Then I would work, and I would not even buy myself food. People that worked with me in Cool FM when I first started Cool FM, I'm talking about on my first 3, 4, 5 years in Cool FM, will know this. I would not buy food, ordinary tantalizers rice and soft drink. Instead, I'll buy crackers and Coke, and that was my diet. Because everything was too expensive, and I needed that money so I could build it. Now, the only business I knew how to do then was shares business. Buy and sell shares. I don't borrow money, invest inside shares before. Dotun will tell you this story. That time, if you get 3 shoes, I could begin laughing. You say, look at this one, he's wasting his life. Why would you go and carry 3 shoes when you can invest your money? Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm going somewhere with this. A lot of you don't understand. That's why you need to be patient. Then you'll be able to understand. So, only for the share bubble to burst in 2007. All my investment back then, I had about 30 million in shares, and trust me, 30 million was a lot of money. It's like the equivalent of 200 million now, or maybe 100 and something million now. And this was stuff I put together over a, say, 7, 8, 9 year period of my life. The first lesson after that, when I came out of the share bubble, not only did I lose all my money, I was owing bank. So it's not like I had money. It's not like, okay, I've lost my money, but I have money left. I came back inside bank loan. You know, go better for Nigerian bank. Like I tell you, it no go better for Nigerian bank. Somebody is saying Thank you, Yankee boy. So, as I was sitting down there, after I've lost the bulk of my money, that 30 something million naira worth of shares, it turned 3 million for my hand. I'm telling you, I was watching it like this. It turned 3 million. And that time it was 30 million. I could have sold off. But once again, my mentality is the more money you make, all this rich dad, poor dad nonsense, the more money you make, you will not eat your capital, you will eat your profit, invest your capital, do your profit. Baba, now so my mentees, they tell me, say, that time Zenith Bank was selling for 79. I don't know how much it is now. That time, every morning when I wake up and they buy newspaper, they read share price. Once I read that, I say, all right, good. You understand that? More the day the share land not like this. Now, it started falling. It fell below my cost price. So you cannot sell. So every day we are praying that, okay, to go back up. More, it didn't go back any up. He continued going down. I bought Japol Maritime. I don't know if you know Japol Maritime. My money waste inside. I bought Dunlop. I don't know if Dunlop has opened since that time. Dunlop decided to now Kukuma close. I bought Oceanic Bank and Intercontinental Bank. That's why I know they respect that particular pastor. We be pastor to the woman we get Oceanic Bank and the man we get Intercontinental Bank. Because these people were paying tithes. And this pastor come and give you testimony of somebody that sold her land in Port Harcourt and gave the money to him and God blessed. Meanwhile, Oceanic Bank and Intercontinental Bank, where my money they inside, and the two of them, they worship for your church. Their bank, Lano, at the point they were dragging them back and forth from prison to court. So what is the end of my story? So I now, in 2007 or 2008, I was in the UK with Olisa Dibois. We now went into Harrods. I now saw the Vertu stand. Vertu is a luxury phone. Their cheapest phone was about £2,500. Then they had the one of 6K, they had the one of 10K, then they had the one of £50,000, £70,000. That's why I begin to look the phone like this. So the guy that was with us now made a statement. One of our friends said, Omo, how would you waste money like this and buy a phone of this much money? What a waste. As I was going home that day and I thought about it, I said, which one is even the waste? Is it the phone that I will use, I will make call people I love, or the shares that I've been doing for the last 3 years that has turned to zero? The next time I went to London, I went to that shop and bought one of the phones. I said, this my money, I will eat it myself. Maybe the phone is going to depreciate, but while it's depreciating it, I will use it, Abi. This my money will depreciate inside shares. To buy those shares, I no chop. I know if it chop better. I know if that time there was Tantalizers Africana. No. Sweet Sensation Africana. I will go with my colleagues and I'll be looking at the food like this. And I will come home and I will eat crackers and Coke. So I'll have money. Let me tell you, I never wore a shirt until I've made the money of the shirt. Let me tell you how that worked. If I have an event and I wear that shirt to do the MC, then I know that, okay, this shirt don't work. So I go get cloth where I no go wear, because I need to balance my income. Those days, I feel sit down like this, save 4 million naira. I'm talking about when my salary was like 80K a month. I go inside that 80K, I go still save. Then one person for bank carry all my money, go pay tithes. Because that's why the banks were failing.
Do you know this is so funny? Please don't say this on the line. You know what I'm saving for? Don't say it.
No, I won't say it. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I promise.
So it's really funny because I am currently doing that. I've deprived myself of so many things that I'm saving.
Baba, I deprived my and I'm going somewhere with this story. We're coming back to the main story, but I wanted to explain this to you guys properly, so you guys have a deeper understanding of this. So at the end of the day, I realized that I don't chop wetin I like. As in little things like I'll walk into a shop and I'll see Baileys. That time Baileys was like 2K. I no go fit buy Baileys because I go to calculate, say if I buy these Baileys as something as small as Baileys, I go to think am 50 times. Those days sef, to travel abroad, I go to look for the cheapest airline. Baba, omo, I can't begin to chop my money. And here's the story there. You see, a lot of us look, in order to make our future better, we put our present through so much strain. They call it delayed gratification. If you make the money now, don't eat it now. Invest in it. I have people on my phone every day calling people who they invested in out. Every day I get at least 15 messages. Daddy Freeze, please help me call this person. I gave the person my money. The person ate the money. Blah, 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 blah. So that delayed gratification sometimes is not a delayed gratification. It's denied gratification. Because you're never going to get to enjoy it unless you know exactly what you're doing. Ada, where do you get my kind of cutting from?
I've had it since for like over a year, but I like sitting at the other end.
So I'm just noticing it for the first time. I'm like, this is my curtain, exactly the kind of curtain. It looks different from, how do I put it? It looks different from, because my light is yellow, but it's exactly maybe a lighter shade of gray than yours. So here's what I wanted to say. Sometimes that thing they tell you, delay gratification. Sometimes delay gratification is nothing but denied gratification. I learned this from watching abroad people. Nigerian man go abroad, go work 16 hours a day. So Berekon, I see you live. How you day, brother? They will work 16 hours a day just to better themselves and ruin their marriages in the process, ruin their children in the process. You don't understand that marriages need investment. They don't need money. They need a bit of money. You understand what I'm telling you? They don't need that much money. They don't need 16. Listen, I was talking to a lady the other day who told me her story. 16 hours a day. She made so much money, bought properties, and now her husband left her, is dragging those properties abroad because he doesn't make as much money. So the properties are in contention in court, and the way it's going is going to get half of it. She has 4 properties she bought as a nurse. The husband is dragging, and guess what? The husband has moved on with a younger lady, but because he was the one at home with the kids, he got children custody. She got visitation rights. The kids don't stay with her. He's the one that takes them to cinema. He's the one that takes them to... And why was this? So that she can go to school and better herself and work. So she comes home and goes upstairs and crashes. So the husband was only going to school, and most of his school was part-time. So now they carry children go baba, now they carry children go watch game, now they carry children go cinema, now they do now they carry children. So this is the father they knew in the school. One of the children said the only time my mother attended PTA, she was sleeping during the PTA. Now so George just look and say, You can't raise these children. And so they carry the children. Meanwhile, the agreement was the wife goes to work and school while the husband takes care of the kids and school, because she had more prospects. So when she now finishes and moves up to the next level, he will now start going to school. By the time she moved up to the next level, got her first job on the next level, Baba just filed and divorced straight. And what did he put as claim? Not negligence, abandonment, all those things. Doesn't have time.
But they had an agreement.
Baba talk say he no do again. And the government sided with him. And the government told her to pay him salary. Now, she was asking me that, now this is the trick that people normally play. They will now, if you live abroad, you understand this thing I want to tell you. This is the game they normally play. They will now go and look for a lower job so that they will look poor. Guess what? The woman now left her higher job and went to look for a lower job so that she will cut down the child support and the alimony, spousal support bill. The judge say, Lai, say even with her lower income, because she did it mischievously, she must continue paying it. So the woman demoted her career, lost half of her property, pays her husband and her children money, while the husband moves on with his life with another girl. And when she finished saying the story, I said, Madam, do you know what your problem was? You listen to too many pastors. That's your delayed gratification. It happens to men too. Normally, in a man, this thing they happen to. You go, they hustle. Your wife go to their house, they take care of children. One lonely neighbor where they beside and go begin the bench sham. Before you know it, your wife will just come out one day say, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. But we agreed. Not every foreign how do I put it? Things like Nigerians. So you go and marry a British woman, they don't think money. Communicate with me. You go and marry an American, they think time. A woman wants to have time with her children. They want to take children to the park. They are not going to work 16 hours. Now, Mexican, Nigerian, now them, they work those crazy shifts. Normal American or British family, they have a work-life balance. Now, Nigerian man, they work. Was he wake up like this, don't start work. Till they sleep at night, he go, they work. For in dream, he go, they work. The average Nigerian does not have work-life balance. It's just work, and life is... They believe abroad that the time they are supposed to go to spend with their child in the cinema, they will not collect $1 million from you to take that time. But you, Niger mentality, everything must be how you will get more money. Now,
because when you have a working system, now Nigeria, you have to work to get some of the basic needs. Like
my problem with Nigeria is, okay, I understand when you live in Nigeria, you have a system that does not work. But when you now go abroad and the system works, why are you still behaving like a Nigerian? I'll tell you a story. A man
does not go off easily. Remember, this person has lived 30-something years of his or her life programmed that way. So changing would not just happen like ASAP.
Let me tell you a story. A man and his servant were walking on the street, going to visit his friend's house. And it started to rain. So they ran under a tree to cover themselves. So while they were there, the man now remembered that it was his servant's birthday and said, oh, servant of mine, it is your birthday today. What do you want? He said, please, just for 2 days that we are going to spend at this your friend's house, let me experience what it feels like to not be a servant. So please, that's the best birthday gift you can give me. Don't call me a servant and don't treat me like a servant. Let me feel like a freeborn for 2 days. The man said, that's what you want? Said, no problem. So when the rain reduced a little, they continued their walk in the rain until they got to their friend's house. When they got to the friend's house, the servant went to the front of the fireplace and hung his clothes in front of the fireplace. The friend came out and said, please, whose servant came to hang clothes here? What am I trying to say in essence is, at the end of the day, the world can see you for who you are. If you like, pretend from now till tomorrow. They did not call you a servant. They did not treat you like a servant. But the servant in you showed up and said, hi guys. Hello. So we need to understand that the Nigerian mentality, the Nigerian in you, will always show up. Whether you ask Nigerians, why do you do this? You no longer need this. Some people have genuine reasons. Some people have to work 16 hours because their mother in Nigeria is suffering and cannot feed. I understand, but why are you working 16 hours so that your mother can have clothes to go and wear to their traditional festival that shows that they are doing well? Me. Unless my father wants to squeeze his cloth into food. And the way I disabi do alaroro, I go calculate your feeding to your last penny. I will not add an extra meal for you in a day. Anything you want to do after that, I go just come up my eye. I go do I say I no see you. I will not work 16 hours a day for anybody. Then have regrets and ruin my children, my relationship with my children, or ruin my marriage. One guy said something to me. He said, children always take care of their mom. At least African children. They will always take care. Your father will sacrifice everything. He said to me, he said, whatever you do in life, make sure you take care of yourselves. Because it will pain you that these children you are sacrificing everything for will take care of their mother first. You will be the second thought. Ada, am I lying? If your father and your mother, maybe because you are closer to your dad, most people, you can put up
50 in everything I get.
That is you. Most people will take care of their mothers first. Most people will take care of their mothers first. So I was saying this, and I want people abroad to come and share their stories. But I was saying this primarily because I've noticed a trend, and a lot of people are running abroad and going abroad with Nigerian mentality and Nigerian problems. Your inherited Nigerian problems are following you abroad. Don't go and marry Oyinbo. Oyinbo will not understand. Oyinbo needs time. Oyinbo will not put money in the place of time.
Man or Igbo woman?
Both. They all think, they think Oyinbo man wants to go to the cinema with the kids. Your work is not more important than the cinema. That extra $2,000 that you want to go and make is not more important. But Nigerian man and Nigerian woman, baby, I have this job opportunity. Let me quickly go and work. We'll make the money. They will postpone the cinema. Go ahead.
I see someone saying Ada is not being honest. I'm not going to say that I've actually been this, let me not say smart, or I've actually set this balance for a very long time. I got to know this because while I was still in school, I went to school in my parents' house. My dad was always saying it. He used to say, why is it that when kids grow up, they shop for their mothers and then they get their parents wine when they are coming back home? Who said the man's problem is the bottle of wine? So I picked that and I said to myself, when I start making money, I would be doing 50-50, and that has been my mindset. So when I got a job and I started making money, if I'm sending 100K home, I send 50-50 to their both accounts. And life has been fair.
Very good, fantastic. But most people are not like you. Most people take care of their mothers and their fathers suffer. So the person said to me, said, look, don't expect to, if you are lucky, your kids might remember you in your old age, but remember yourself now so that it will not pain you. I've seen fathers, because I have access to so many people, I have access to so many stories, and I've seen a lot of people, what is it called, go through these kind of. Now, abroad, people do not understand that you give money to your parents is a blessing. If you are going to work extra hours so that you can send money to your parents, your abroad husband will leave you because they can't understand. The abroad system takes care of it, and regular abroad people don't give their parents money. It's parents that give their children money. Regular, hello, if you've ever lived with Oyinbo people, the Oyinbo people, I'm not talking about trailer trash. I'm talking about regular white folks that live average lives in the US or the UK. They do not take money from their children. Hello? They do not take money from their children. If you know what I'm talking about, it is Nigerian man that believes that giving money to your parents, you will be blessed. The people abroad, how much money do they give to their parents? Are they not blessed? Those are some of the things that they used to whine us, and our parents will come and be asking you for unnecessary things that are ridiculous, and you still have to go and be doing them. I, for instance, I don't give my parents money. I've never given my mother. I give my father if he asks for, but I made sure I never committed myself to giving anybody monthly salary, so that at the end of the month, and on top of my own bills, I will come begin to run around for another. No, everybody will be okay. If you have a need, you come to me. I look at the need. If it is a pressing need, I will attend to it. If it is not a pressing need, it will wait. I never put myself under pressure for anybody. I don't know how I live my life. Oh. So, if you are an abroad woman, I want to put this to you, and you have gone through the abroad stress on your marriage, I want to bring in women today. Share your story, like this woman's story. I'll read the story again to you so you understand where I'm coming from, and maybe that might connect with you. Rain they follow. PT send me message inside in Ferrari, rain they fall for London. So let me read the message again the woman sent me so you guys can understand what the story is. Okay, so let me read the message to you guys again. I have a Nigerian friend I left my daughter with briefly towards the end of my nursing school. When it was time to go for my child, she placed abuse allegations on me and charged me to court. She charged me and my husband, who is in Nigeria, for negligence, but somehow my husband, who called himself a pastor, started taking sides with my friend. My friend helped him to get a free lawyer here, and they want to take my only child from me, and they want to force me to pay child support to another strange woman, a Jamaican. The original friend I took my daughter to dropped out of the case because her sisters promised to testify against her in court, and with the help of court and my husband, transferred my daughter to this Jamaican woman. Jamaican woman filed for custody for my only child and has been demanding child support. I have not spoken to my daughter in 1 year. Please, I need help in reaching out to the supposed husband that has taken sides with strange woman to take my child. Please do not close this gate of mercy against me. I've been married to this man for 24 years, waited 8 years to get this child. Please help me. Someone says Daddy Freeze block Peter Ebojele. Peter Ebojele is my friend though. Waiting Peter do. How you go talk say make I block Peter na my family? Oh. Peter, waiting you do where they say make I block you. So if you have a similar story as a woman, I want you to share it. If you have gone through, because we used to bring in a lot of Nigerian men. My wife did this to me. My wife threw me out of the. Of course, there are many sides. Peter is insulting Tinubu. Peter, you cannot insult Tinubu on my live. You are my guy. You cannot insult Tinubu. The rules are simple. Keep politics away from this discussion. I'm tired. Politics don't cause husband and wife break up for Nigeria already. One woman don't pour oil for her husband hand onto saying go vote APC. Do you understand what I'm saying? 21 Stellar Tree. Stella, let me invite you. So please, let's remember everyone belongs to a different political understanding from us. The fact that you choose Labour Party does not mean everybody. I've told you before, I don't support Labour Party. I do not support Labour Party. I support Sowore, or I supported Sowore in presidential election, and I'm not supporting Labour Party in governorship election either. So if you can come to my live and we both don't agree politically, you now need to understand that everybody here is of a different political ideology. We have PDP, we have APC, we have AAC, we have Kwakwanso, we have all of them here. Respect everybody, please. No, I'm not talking to Peter. I'm just talking generally. So guys, all of you, please. Someone says that's negligence of the highest order. How can you delegate the care of your daughter to a random stranger in the name of going to nursing school? You see, in as much as we want to judge her, let us remember that that is how Nigerians think. Why do you think I told you all my stories at the beginning of this live? Do you know why I told you? Because I want you to know what the way our minds work. The normal Nigerian wants to build house in the village. So they will carry their child. It's not like they are not working, but that money, they have not yet started making it. So they want to make that money, then they go to nursing school or go to one of those schools.
Well, please permit me to actually say something. It's not like I'm supporting the woman, but then let's look at the situation this way. This woman, she's also trying to make a living. That she has a child does not mean her life should be stagnant. And Nigeria is not like abroad where you actually get a nanny or something. Not like you cannot over here. But
you can't get a nanny abroad. It's not like you cannot. It is impossible. For you to be able to have a nanny, you have to be on a certain level.
Exactly. So I see no big deal in her entrusting her child's safety to her friend to like look after. Now, I think I have a problem. Oh wow, Nigeria has happened to me. But they also bring the legs. They also turn on the list. So I think that the man and that her friend, the neighbor, they actually have something that they are not saying. They have something that they are not saying. Pardon me, guys. There's something on the list.
No, it's okay. It's okay, my darling.
So I think we should actually hear from the man's story, because another thing I've come to realize with humans is the fact that when someone is narrating a story, they always tend to...
They always stay the side that favors them, not a problem.
They always tend to appear to be the victim. of the
Mm.
whole situation. You cannot tell me that your husband will just come and connect with your neighbor to now give the child to another person entirely when all you've been doing, going to school, and then you still create time for the child. They cannot just wake up overnight and turn against you. So probably something is happening that we don't know of.
A lot of people don't understand how stressful nursing school is also, and how stressful being a nurse is. Okay, somebody said Peter did not insult anybody. Amazing. Okay, I love Peter. Peter, please don't insult anybody. Of course, I'm not going to remove Peter. Peter is my guy. Okay, now Peter says, we know they take break at all. We they leave from one walk to go another walk. This hustle spirit is also encouraged by Christianity. Islam is a bit more God gives and God takes. You understand? Islam, to be honest, is a lot more fair with regards to Christianity. Will tell you you can make it. And why is the pastor pushing you to work harder so you can bring more tithes? So you guys need to understand that what is not negligence in Nigeria? You leaving your child at home. If you try it abroad, you will abroad will not. That's why they will tell you, if you're not ready to have kids, take the morning after pill. In many countries abroad, abortions are, do you understand? Because they don't want you to bring a child into the world and now becomes government responsibility. So if you're a woman and you're going through things like these, now I'm gonna, since you guys have said we should hear from the other side, I'm also going to reach out to the husband. Let us hear their side of the story. Hello, Tolu.
Hi, Daddy Freeze.
How are you doing? Did you have such an experience?
Well, I have kids here, and my husband and I are both working. But it's not like if we're going to put the child in, because I said daycare and people are saying it's too expensive. Daycare is expensive, but if I'm going to put my child in daycare, I'm going to look at how much I'm making. If the job, the money I'm making from the job is, is worth it. If it's not worth it, then I'll stay home and take care of my child myself. But how the thing is, it looks like a lot of detail is missing from the story. Like, how do you leave your child completely with someone else? And
okay, so let me ask her these questions. So when we come back again, I'll have an answer. Question 1: how do you leave your child with a stranger? Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and for that long, for it to be, get to the stage where the person has the right to seek custody of that child, it means you were completely absent. It means it must have gone on for days on, like days on end, and not just 8 hours or, just the normal daycare time to have someone watch a child. Because, there's so many options these days, especially remote work. I know if she's doing nursing, maybe she doesn't have time for remote work, and her husband lives in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if I don't know, because I know people that have, especially people, if you're living in an immigrant state, people with like Maryland, Texas, or places where they have a lot of immigrants, church folks, church members that help you with your child. People drop their daughter or their children with their church member or pastor's wife or something, and maybe if you're doing night shift as a nurse, then you come back in the morning and pick your child. There are ways to work around it other than completely. And a child that took 8 years to get, I would think there would be more devotion as a mother if you waited eight years before getting a child.
Have you forgotten that you are dealing with a Nigerian? A Nigerian's devotion is to money first.
Because Daddy Freeze there. In my family, like I personally, when I was getting married or wanted to start a family, my push was the fact that I thought, okay, maybe I wouldn't get pregnant or things of that sort, because there's a lot of I've seen a lot of infertility in my family. So I've seen people wait long to have children, and I know how they treat. And these are Nigerians, I know how they treat those children when they finally have them. So if I've waited 8 years or 7 or that long to have a child, I would not. There are so many ways, even abroad, to work around it, that you don't have to leave your child with a stranger, to the extent that the stranger would have that right, because it must be to that long stretch for the stranger to have that right to lay claim and say, no, I've been, even with foster parents, it could get to a stage where the foster parents, if it's an arrangement, if we have an arrangement to watch my child for this long, and it's you've left your child way too long, and I have grown attachment to that child, I now have the right to now seek the go to the court to try and lay claim and say, I've grown attached to this child, I want to adopt this child, and this child, you don't have rights anymore. Basically strip you of your parental rights.
All right, guys, if you're enjoying the live, come and buy stars on my Facebook. Nobody has bought a single star. I can't even imagine what's going on with you people. If they don't tell you now, I know they remember. This is how you buy stars. Go to Facebook, search for Daddy Freeze, DADDYFREEZE. My page will pop up. This is what it looks like. 829,000 followers, verified. Scroll down to today's video. You will see me there. Click on the video, bottom left hand corner, come and buy stars. Let me give you a big shout out. Come and buy stars. If you're watching on TikTok, my top gifter would get a big hailing today. All right? Buy me a bumper car or a watermelon. Let me put a watermelon. Buy me a watermelon. My top gifters, I will follow you, and I'll tell everybody watching the live to follow you too. So if you're watching on TikTok, get me a watermelon. Thank you all so much. Send me your gifts on TikTok. Top gifters will be hailed. I don't even forget, since over an hour they talk.
And then please, let us remember that when people are talking, when people are narrating your story, you're narrating it to make, to paint them in a good light.
Ada said
and
that.
If after narrating her story, there's still a lot of holes there's still a lot of details that is not adding up. So this is the type of story where you need to actually hear from the other party and like, okay, what really happened? There's a lot she's not saying.
Because also citing abuse, for you to be able to cite abuse, you might have to be able to prove it.
Right. There's, I've seen instances where the OCS is involved because, the moms, usually single moms, there's a mark on the child, like a slap, basically a handprint of someone hitting the child, then they call OCS. And OCS would, of course, when they call the police, everybody's involved, they have to take the child to the doctor to prove abuse. To prove, this is not just, it looks like the child has, a slap mark. We have to prove it. Before, you can actually lose custody. Before a mother loses custody, it's way harder for a mother to lose custody than a dad. Because mothers are given that right, just, by default. It's like, okay, you're the mother, you have, the upper hand. So for a mom to lose, even between a dad and a mom, if a mom loses that right, something is really going on with that mom for her to lose her parental rights.
Awesome. All right, Neka Spiff, let me hear from you. I'd love to hear from you on this. Neka Spiff. Ada, what are your thoughts?
I actually shared my thoughts before the ma'am joined us. Like I said, she really needs to come up and tell us more about the story because it's really not adding up. We have people, though maybe most people did not leave their kids with, let's say, a friend or a neighbor. I know in Nigeria, so many people leave their kids with their family members. And never have I heard of, oh, she came back finally, and then that person taking care of the child now wants to take full custody of the child. I mean, this is a country where it's already tough. Nobody wants to carry another person's responsibility. So for another person to be willing to now carry your child, and then your husband is in full agreement of that decision, there is a lot she's not saying, honestly.
And as usual, they're very good at saying, "Oh, talk to my husband. I've not had this child for we've been married for 24 years. I waited for this long to have the child. Blah 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 blah."
All
It's
that sympathy. Women, we are very, very emotional. I mean, blackmail emotionally a lot. So that people will pity us. Oh, she's a lady. Oh, why treat her like that? This one, that one. A mother and a child born. You're trying to break it. You know, all those kind of stories.
I'm looking for women who went through those kind of cases. Let's hear from you. Let's see what your situation is. I wish I could. There are more people commenting on YouTube than anywhere else, but sadly, I can't go live with YouTube people, which is very sad because I can see all sorts of comments on YouTube, especially YouTube. Tonight, somebody said that lady is not fit to be a mom and the Jamaican lady should get full custody of the child as she goes to school. Why didn't she send the child back to her father or mother in Nigeria? You see, it all boils down to this same, I want to go to America, or I want to go abroad. If I need my child to be with me. It all boils down to this mentality. You understand? It all boils down to, because nobody wants to send their children back home if they're abroad. Or that you don't get me?
I do totally get you.
So that's just my thinking. It's a bit worrisome. Hey, Pastor Toby Adegoiga, how are you doing? Yes, I saw you driving Ferrari in Irene. I've already mentioned it before you came. Unless you sent something after that. PT, Uluwatobiloba. Pastor Toby wants to come live. Can somebody call this old man's attention to my message? There's no message on my phone now. Is it not that you called me? Okay, you called. Then there's message of you and what's that guy's name? Driving Ferrari. That's the message there. Okay, let me call him. Maybe that's what he wants. He wants me to call him. All right. Continue, guys. I'm listening to you people.
We're waiting for Pastor T.
I don't get. Hey.
But then again, that should we actually blame people who, despite having a child or despite having a family here, don't have the quest to have a better life? Should we blame such people?
Let me break it down to you. You're not going to get a better life. You're going to get better education, somewhat. You're going to get a better standard of living. The fact that you see, somebody lives in Lekki in an apartment with 24 hours light, and the other person lives in Yaba in a shared apartment struggling, does not mean this one has a better standard of life, does not mean they have a better life. You can be in this higher standard of life and be depressed. You can be in this higher standard of life and be unhappy. And you can be lower like this and still manage and be happy. So abroad gives you a higher standard of life, not necessarily a better life. It is when you get there that you realize that there are more sacrifices there than there are in Nigeria. An average Nigerian man who would go to the bar after he finishes and on his way home stop over and pick a babe or go and visit one of his babes. You try that abroad. Just don't let them catch you. You will lose everything. So abroad is more rigid. What you put inside is what you get. Nigeria, you put anything inside and you can get anything else. Our system is more porous. So I find it difficult to add people. I don't know what is going on. I've been struggling with this. I don't know what is going on. The network is just bouncing people off. Yinka the Diva, let me try and see if I can add you. Okay. Everybody I've been adding can just for one reason or the other. You have to be disciplined abroad, yes. Nigerians get abroad and they realize that, oh my goodness, I've messed up. And then it's too late to start reworking it. Someone says I should restart the life. I don't have power. I will just go and sleep. We don't manage to reach the level where we reach. Fawn Junior, you are commenting things that are not going with this live. Please, is my IG updated? I think so. I think I have the latest IG. I think so.
And then, please, how old is this child?
I didn't ask.
Yeah, because if the child is old enough to comment on the issue, I mean, like, if it's like 8 years old and upwards, they would ask the child what's, the opinions of the child, and, if questions to suggest if the mom is being negligent,
Which I think they probably did. Nobody has been able to join. Nobody has been able to join. Sorry, I'm just moaning and groaning about this live. I'm struggling to add people, as in it will just bounce off. Thank you, Femi Junior. Okay, this is Pastor Toby Sashu. This is the message he wanted me to see in his purple Ferrari. Hi, Miss Brown and Cam, how are you doing? And we lost the other lady. Just as you came in, we lost the only other person that we've had today.
Wow.
So, sorry, what is your take? Let me give a shout out to those people who have been buying me stars. Bathsheba Waitika. Thank you so much, Bathsheba. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for sending me stars. Okay, go ahead. What is your take?
Hi, good evening. Hi, Ada. So, I don't have exactly the same experience, but I would just the mom who is raising kids abroad. So, to lose your kids, I think they are missing, like the other speaker had said, I think there are things missing from the story. So I don't think it's exactly complete. No, and as a parent, I think I don't like to judge other parents, actually, because people have to, in face of what sacrifices they have to make, they make their choices well informed based on their experience and all of that. But having said that, let me just add, to go to nursing school and you have one child and you don't have work to do with the child, I think there are other kinds of jobs she could have done without having to sacrifice her child. Manner. Sometimes people leave the town where they are at to go to a nursing school outside the town where they live because it's a little bit less expensive to be out of town to go to nursing school. So maybe in that circumstance, she had to leave her child with somebody else. And this is not something she would have done in just 1 month, or even 3 months or 5 months, for the law to have considered her to have abandoned the child, for the law to have considered the foster, the guardian petition over hers. So it's possible she would have left that child for at least Maybe within a year, she would have seen that child maybe once or twice for that to have happened. So for me, I think she should have just done another kind of job while the child is growing up. Maybe when the child is big enough, she can actually go do her nursing. On the other hand, too, the government pays for childcare here. So it depends. She could have gotten some, if she's a single parent, since she said her husband or the father of the child was in Nigeria. So she could have gotten some kind of government assisted childcare. That way, during the day, she can take the child to a daycare if she cannot afford to pay, especially since she was a student. So she could have gotten a government assisted childcare. That way she can take the child to the childcare during the day at subsidized rates since she was a student, so she will get good rates. Or maybe pay nothing, little to nothing, depending on where the child was born to. So she could have gotten all of that and left the child, taken the child to daycare during the day, at night get back the child. So in this case where abandonment was considered, where the petition of the guardian or the adopted parent or whatever the parent, the other party was, is considered over her own petition as a parent, it means she would have let that child unattended to, she would have for at least 9 months. So I'm sure she would have seen that child in a year, like 3 times. And maybe those 3 times, it would have been less than 48 hours each time. So that is on those terms that somebody else's petition will be considered in the best interest of the child. If the child had been considered to have lived in this other environment, have attached herself or himself to this other family, it would be, they would consider the best interest of the child. They wouldn't want to detach that child. Even a dog, even a pet is considered that way. If they feel that this pet has been in this family, because sometimes people have to do something, they move their pet somewhere else. Maybe they move into an apartment where pets are not allowed, so they give their pets to another family or friends, and they decide to go back for it. It depends on how long that pet stayed in the custody of the other person. It depends on how much time did that pet spent with you, how many times you came on visitation, how many times you picked up that child and spent time with that pet. So it applies to a child, and even more. So if she had spent this whole time without looking for a better job, looking for something else at the expense of her child, the law would see that that thing stands on a higher pedestal than her child did stand. So than her child did stand. That way, the other person's petition will be considered over her and in the best interest of the child. Now, if the child is at least 6 years old or more, they would take a testimony depending on the family court and depending on the judge. They could take a testimony from the child. So in this situation, I'm sure this person had reported to child welfare before the petition was filed. And the time the child welfare was reported, they would have come to inspect to be sure that this child was spending more time with this other party than the parent. So in that situation, it's not because you biologically gave birth to this child, it meant this child is more attached. This child's life is emotionally is more hinged in this other atmosphere, in this other family, in this other situation than it is with you. Moving the child will be disrupting the child. So it's not that Nigerian thing of Nami Bonam, is not my Pekin. No, it doesn't apply. That child, it does not see you in that. You do not provide that kind of support for that child, that parental support. That is not what you provide for that child. And that is what the system sees. That is what the law sees. So you cannot come any day and you want to exert your parental right and it's automatic and you will just get it and walk away. Then on the side of her husband, it depends. Maybe the husband would have claimed whatever, he couldn't come and see them, or the child was taken away from him or something, to get a lawyer who would have handled the case pro bono for him and gotten him to in the place where, because his parental rights were still intact since he wasn't within the confines of the country. Parental rights were within the confines, so he could have claimed anything made him not to exercise his parental rights. So I guess that is why this child was taken away.
Are you a lawyer?
She could have done a job she would go do until the child is old enough.
Are you a lawyer?
Sorry?
Are you a lawyer?
Yes and no. I am not a lawyer yet. I am still going through the process, but I am a paralegal and I work with a team of lawyers. So I prepare cases, I do all of that. So yes, I am aware of the law and I work as a paralegal. I head the paralegal team here. So
Oh, awesome. That does make a lot of sense. Now I understand what where your knowledge is coming from. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for that. Ada, do you have anything else to say? Well, so we'll have to go and wait for the case to build. Remember, if you have cases like these, you can DM me. Be honest, please. Is always honesty is always the best policy. If you're honest, it helps a lot. Please be honest when you're sharing your stories and your testimonies. Okay.
yes, honesty would give the story a better perspective for those
Yes.
who want to judge. It puts a better light on it. Otherwise, you cannot. I mean, you cannot treat a wound you don't see properly. You don't know what is ailing the patient.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, all of you. Ada, they say Coke is bad for you. What are you drinking at this time of the night?
I'm having spaghetti, egg, and Coca-Cola.
She doesn't want to delay her gratification.
And Chris, I still have a flat tummy. Don't worry, I'm fine.
Ah,
Yeah.
you see, when that tummy will catch up on you, when that tummy will creep up on you, you'll be so amazed. You will be so amazed, as in it will just jump on you. Fear will catch you.
Liposuction will do it.
You want to go and spend $10,000 to be doing what you don't need to have in the first place.
I'll sort that out when I get to that point. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for all you've said. And at this point, I think all I have to say is before you bring forth a child, the man and the woman, both of you should actually have that constructive meeting on how to raise that child. Because I am somehow displeased that a woman now has to wait and do another career entirely just to wait for that child to grow. What if all my life I've been dreaming of becoming a nurse? But just because I don't have a child, I don't have to wait until the child is like 7, 8 before I go back to that career. What if I now no longer have interest in being a nurse after this long period of time, staying at home, raising a child that we both made, and then you are there having your life. So please, ladies and gentlemen, before you bring for the child, have that conversation. Save for child care, nanny, or whatnot. So you don't find yourself in situations like this, and then you start running to internet seeking for help. Because it makes no sense to me. I might just have let's say I had a child last year, and now maybe this year, and I'll tell myself and probably my cool friends and family like that, okay, I don't think I want to be a journalist anymore. I think I want to switch career. I want to become a lawyer or a nurse. I just want to go right to WAEC and do something else. And everybody would not be like, but you have a child. No, still be practicing journalism until the child is 8 and you can switch. It makes no sense to me. Before you know it, I'll be 30 something and 40. And we have just one leg.
Yes.
Hmm.
Right.
Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining live. Sad thing is I wasn't able to bring in people. I could only bring in the two of you. I've updated my Instagram, but I'll update it again, and let's hope for for better opportunities next time. Thank you guys so much for everything. Do take care of yourselves. Ada, you okay?
You too.
Take
Have a good
care.
night.
God bless.
Yeah, bye-bye.